I think there's a very big misconception about XRP. On the one hand, there are people saying, Dusty, you're only being paid to talk about XRP. And then on the other, there's people saying, it must be going to zero, both of which I think are crazy. So even though I've done a little bit of a video yesterday talking about what's going on with XRP right now, I really want to take some time to again explain to you guys my thinking process, because as a baseline, me personally, I'm still very bullish on this coin. I personally don't see any future where the coin doesn't do at least a 10x, but let's just say as a baseline, a 20 or so x return, partially based on the idea that most coins in the top of the top will do that. And that most coins in the top of the top are still down 70, 80% from its all-time high. And I think if that recovers, it's already a pretty easy, 12x or so, but I think most of them will go above their previous all-time highs. And just a simple deduction here, Bitcoin is going amazing and Ethereum is going amazing. They're close to all-time highs. A lot of altcoins aren't yet because it's not fully this season. It's starting, the altcoin season is starting to get here, but we are not fully in it just quite yet. And so people saying, Dusty, you are Ripple's PR team. I told you before, honest truth, right? Honest, bottom of my heart, none of the Ripple employees I've ever spoken to have been actually nice to me. I've never been invited to any XRP related events. I've never been paid a single XRP by Ripple people at all. And frankly, I'm not here to tell you guys to buy XRP. Matter of fact, in the previous video, I told you guys, if you've got a whole bag of it, you might want to sell some for quicker opportunities. But hey, and then the second batch of people saying it's going to zero, to which I always think, you really think the probability that XRP is the next Litecoin is that high? I mean, I'll be honest and say there are some coins that won't make it. This is, however, very often after the big bull run. Most altcoins, especially ones with such a tight community, end up bringing great results. And if you once believed that XRP would do well, but now don't, then did you really do your research properly before buying your first time? Because the fundamentals, theoretically speaking, have only gotten better, not worse.
So you would welcome an XRP ETF then?
We would certainly welcome it, and I think it's inevitable that there'll be, multiple ETFs around different tokens. And I think you'll even see ETFs potentially around baskets that also, I think, further diversify that risk.
Given there's so much excitement around the ETF dynamic here, are you in talks with the largest issuers, particularly BlackRock, to get this done?
I'm not going to comment on that. I know BlackRock has said some things publicly. We think it makes sense for the XRP community overall. Before the SEC lawsuit, XRP was the second most valuable digital asset. I think because of the headwinds of that lawsuit, we've now seen that largely abate. The long-term view on these things is about, how do you create utility and really solve real-world problems with these different digital assets? Bitcoin's doing that very well as a store of value. XRP and its dynamics around being very fast, very efficient, and low cost on a per transaction basis makes it ideal for payments. And that's where Ripple really has leaned into as a company.
Point being here, the narrative that was set before you, whatever you bought XRP prior, it hasn't changed, theoretically speaking. It's only gotten better as they're now outside this lawsuit. They've finally gotten over it. And so the most important regulatory hurdle is now out the way, and the guys can operate in the US. And even though I don't necessarily like to say that Bitcoin is really just a store of value, I'd say it's slightly more. It's a speculative, potential proper store of value. But there's a lot of speculation around it right now, a lot less than with gold. There's even a video here that talks about it can't be a store of value because the price goes up so much. Take a look.
That's not true. I don't appreciate it because I'm using it for ransomware. I appreciate it because it's a store of value. I don't appreciate it.
A store of value or
it's a store of value, not speculative.
That goes up. If it was a store of value, it would stay one price.
No. Like gold was $300 not too long ago. It's now $2,000. It doesn't stay at the same price. It goes up as you print more money.
It's more of a speculative investment.
No, I don't think that's like Michael Saylor or another.
It's turned out to be.
I don't think it matters too much to what we call it. It's just an interesting video. But I think my point remains clear. Many people don't understand the investment thesis anymore. You're partially buying something because of the tech, the team, the plans, right? That's partially. And partially we're buying things based on, well, where is it at in the market? Is it really hyped up? Has it got good momentum? And what is the overall climate of the market? Now, that can be kind of subdivided again, and I often bring it to you guys as this. You have value type of coins, and you have momentum type of coins. Longer term type of bags, shorter term type of bags. And XRP, as it stands, has been really at a high value before in the past, right? Number 2, way bigger than Ethereum, and has now been in lower in the top 10 for a bit, partially because of this lawsuit. My personal philosophy is, even though it's not really hyped up right now, it's got strong values from the bone, and those will show itself at some point. Now, it's not hyped up, it doesn't have crazy momentum, so it's not getting all the retail, the newbies, the new people, but we're not in that part of the market anyway. People are too greedy. They want things so fast. And I've often told you, if that's what you're in it for, just keep watching my other videos, not talking about XRP news, etc., but talk about, or I guess, look at those videos where I talk about the most interesting upcoming launches, where I talk about my top coins for right now, because those are hyped up, those are exciting. They can go up a lot, can go down a lot within the next few days. But if, for example, you bought 𝗏𝗀, which I mentioned in the video, I think 4 weeks ago-ish, I think you right now, that was 5.5 cents or 5.7 cents. Again, my own pretty juicy buy, I don't know exactly the amount, was also at roughly 5.7, 5.5-ish cents or so. And I talked about it over on Twitter, and you can see now it's roughly at a 5.5 or so X. Beautiful. DJI, I think we bought it at 6 or 0.006, something like that. So it's also at a 5X. I also talked about this in a video. I think at that point it was already 0.007 or something, but I don't think it matters too much. Still at least a 4 or something X. You can see how it's performed over the month. I don't even remember exactly where I posted in my video. I think I talked about my top gaming coins. Potentially it was in one of those. Can't remember exactly where it was at. My own personal buy was about 0.006. I think a lot of people got in at 0.007 or something like that. Perhaps it was more around here. Perhaps it was actually a little bit earlier. Maybe it was 0.08. Doesn't matter. You understand the picture. 𝗏𝗀, for example, I've been talking about this coin on Twitter a lot over the past, I'm going to say 3 or so weeks, potentially 4 weeks. I think 3 weeks. And you can see how the price is done over the past month, just up only. API 3 was really hyped up, and you can see how the price is done. Also, METIS, I got in at about the 6th of February. You can see how that one has done over the past couple of days here, because once more, it was hyped up. We look into it, notice, hey, it's probably still pretty undervalued, and it just goes crazy over the next few weeks or so. Let's quickly check. Let's say you bought right there. You'd right now be up what? You can see there, it could be up like 35% or so in a few days. Not even the best, not that good, but pretty good in the grand scheme of things. And honestly, guys, that's also why I keep talking about these upcoming launches. One of the ones I'm pretty excited for myself that's coming up, I think, well, it's already today. No, that's too early. Okay, it's actually wait a minute. I think today it's launching on the launch pad, and then the official launch of the coin is actually the 4th. Because I talked about this in my video yesterday. Altcoin Daily talked about it, and that's the thing. I personally think you want to get into these sales as often as possible, because even if it only does a 10x or so, which to me is not that amazing of a sale. If you take a look at their history, they've done amazing numbers on most of the coins, most of them. And with the way I've seen the hype for this one being built up, there's a very, very good chance, guys, that they're going to be doing some massive numbers yet again. And that's why I'm so interested in it. That's why I keep talking about it. That's why I keep bringing it up. And now Avara, in that sense, is not that unique. I mean, the project itself is pretty unique. Don't get it twisted. I just mean in terms of there's many launches, right? But since they're new, you don't necessarily know the value in them unless they are old running protocols. So if, for example, a restaking protocol or some of these bigger projects all of a sudden announce a token, you understand they've already had tons of TVL, which is total value locked, money inside their ecosystem. They've got inherent value because they probably already raised 20, 50, 100 million, whatever, from investors beforehand, and potentially have billions in their system. Those are quite unique, and most of the time not the best opportunities, I will add. But very often, those are a make or break. With things like XRP, in my opinion, it's like a matter of, even though there's not that much hype, you understand the value, you understand the core principles, and so if the bull market picks up, coins of this nature, of this sort, regardless of whether or not you like it yourself, like fundamental wise, will just perform well because it's going to be the average across the board. Some coin will probably do a little bit better of a number. Some coins will do slightly worse. But many of the coins, even at the top here, you can see how Bitcoin is pumping yet again right now. Many of the coins at the top here will still do such large numbers that you're going to just be so surprised. An ICP is down 98% from its all-time high. Uniswap, even though it had a massive pump recently, right, 70% up in a day, is still 75% down. Polkadot, even though it's up a lot over the past month or so, it's still down 85% from its all-time high. Dogecoin is down 90% from its all-time high. Cardano is down 80% from its all-time high. XRP is down 86% from its all-time high. Filecoin is down 97% from its all-time high, just to give you guys some idea. And I hope that's enough, actually. I hope that's like putting people to rest about why I keep talking about it and why I don't sell it. Because I personally think it'll do well, and I'd rather just take new money, put into new projects, and keep the money I invested in there, get my average price as low as possible to turn whatever amount of money I put in there at some point into a profit. Because I think it's impossible. My thoughts, not financial advice, because I can't be wrong, but my thoughts are that if you play this game right, you buy your way down, it is impossible to lose in a bull market. Impossible, impossible, impossible. Then again, if the last couple of weeks have not been splendid for you, diversify more, go at it a little bit harder, because my life has been beautiful in terms of gains over the past couple of weeks. And that's what you want to see in this point of the market. You want to make new all-time highs in your portfolio at least once a month. If you're not, you're doing it wrong. Just keep watching the videos more. You'll learn a lot. And potentially give my Twitter a little look, because there I talk about some of the coins I'm buying as well that I've been doing beautifully, like a 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏, for example. Like an Ego, for example, I made a video about it too, and it's up 20% or so since we made that video. A DJI, like I said before. Even Sync did really, really well from where I talked about it in the video. I think it was like at 0.003 when I made a video about it. Right now it's at I think it went to 0.13, 0013. Or 0.013. Right now, maybe back down to 0.011. Yeah, that one I also think can still do some massive numbers over time. But there's so many more. It's just to give you guys some idea. But hey, that's about it. Make sure you press the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you stick around, because I'm going to be teaching you guys a lot of my lessons I've learned the hard way. Hopefully I can teach them to you guys the easy way.